Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love, and this week I have an email from a woman, and she said, I just found your podcast and I love it. I've been listening to it all week, and you're the best I've found so far. Wow, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Then she goes on to say, I've been dating a guy for a year and I still have no title. I negotiated a bad deal. I'm contemplating ending the sex and just remaining friends with him. The man has such a hectic lifestyle raising his children, furthering his education, working, and having little time for me, although he tries. We spend time together cooking and going out for drinks and dinner maybe twice a week at the most. He has almost all the characteristics I like in a man, but I have no patience and am tempted to enter the dating scene, which I dread. Recently I asked him, how long do you have to date a woman to consider her your woman? And his response was 3 to 4 years. I was devastated. This changed my entire perspective of having a life with him. My mom gave me the worst advice ever and suggested I wait on him, considering he's a decent guy. What do you think? Wow. So, yes, you're absolutely right. You did negotiate a bad deal. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I did a podcast a while back where I explained that relationships are negotiated. And even if you don't have a negotiation, that's still a negotiation in the sense that since she didn't ask for a title, she didn't ask what they were, she didn't ask where's this going or what's going on, then it just is what it is, and therefore she has no title. And that's the negotiation, the fact there wasn't any. And so she doesn't know what's going on. And so that's not good, obviously. As you can see, it's been a year. That's a long time to go on without knowing what's going on. And I realized that you did it because you said he has almost all the characteristics that you want in a man. And that's where a lot of people go wrong, men and women. Because someone has all or most of the characteristics they're looking for, they assume, well, I need to stay and he's the one and she's the one and I want to be with this person. But there's actually one quality that needs to be at the top of everyone's list above all the other characteristics. And that is that person as into you as you are into them? Because it's fantastic if they're exactly what you're looking for, but if they're not into you, then it's going to be hell. And that's where I get a lot of my coaching clients. A lot of the times they're calling me about people that they're interested in, but the other person isn't really interested in them. And so if they're not into you, this is what happens. You can go for a year without a title. I'm not saying that he's not into you at all, but if he was really into you, then children or no children, hectic lifestyle, whatever, he would have given you a title because he wouldn't have wanted some other man to claim you. So he probably thinks that you're not going anywhere, that no one else is going to claim you, or that you're not interested in anyone claiming you. So he feels very confident in just going with the flow and seeing how it goes. And also the fact that he said, okay, 3 to 4 years before he considers someone his woman. I mean, come on. What guy is going to wait 3 to 4 years? That's crazy. So I refuse to believe that. I'm not saying he's lying, but there's no way it's 3 or 4 years. So I understand you've already made an investment of a year, but it's better to get out sooner rather than later, because the more time you invest, the more difficult it will be to get out, because you're thinking, well, I already stayed a year, I already stayed 14 months, I already stayed 16 months, I already stayed 18 months, I don't want to go. The longer you stay, the worse it's going to be. If he really wanted you, he would claim you. And you're right about the bad advice your mother gave you. Now, she comes from a different era. I know it was a time when, once you find a decent guy, you just hang in there and you just wait. But luckily, we're not in the 50s anymore, and you no longer have to wait. It's a lot easier to meet people now. So you don't stay with someone just because they're a decent guy, especially if they haven't, quote unquote, claimed you. Because if he hasn't done it by now, after a year, I don't know if he ever will. So if you want to continue to see him as a friend, if he agrees to that, while dating other people, I think that's a great idea. Otherwise, if you don't want to see him at all, if it's too difficult to see him, if it's easier just to move on and date other people and just let him know, hey, I'm looking for something more. I need to be a girlfriend. And if that doesn't work for you, that's fine. But if you change your mind, let me know. So that would be my advice to you. Best of luck with that. And I am available for private coaching if anyone is interested in help with something similar or even a totally different situation. And you can reach me at my website, theartoflove.net. And in the meantime, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.